Hello brawlers, it's me, your game host manager, and today I'm gonna be sharing a character from the God category. And this time, this God comes from Hinduism. Brawlers, he's known as the Destroyer. Intense nickname, right? You might be wondering who it is. Well, allow me to introduce to you to the Hindu god, Shiva. Shiva is one of the most important gods in the Hindu pantheon. He is also a member of the Holy Trinity in Hinduism, along with Brahma, the god of creation, and Vishnu, the god of preservation. A complex character, one might say, as he may represent goodness and benevolence and is known and serve as the protector, but he is also associated with time and particularly as the destroyer and creator of all things. A mighty god with strong contrasts, one might say. Do you agree? In Hinduism, the universe is thought to regenerate in cycles every 21,600,000,000 years. And it is thought that Shiva destroys everything at the end of each cycle, which then allows for a new creation. Now, Shiva is also the great ascetic, abstaining from all forms of pleasure and indulgence, and instead concentrating in meditation as a means to achieve perfect happiness. But he also has a darker side. Well, Shiva is the leader of evil spirits and the master of thieves, beggars, and villains. Yeah, multifaceted Shiva, I know. Moreover, Shiva is also the most important Hindu god in Shaivism sect, which is a major tradition within Hinduism. And he's also protector of the Vedas, which are the sacred texts. Shiva's wife was Parvati, who was a reincarnation of Sati, the daughter of the god Daksha. Now, Daksha did not approve of the marriage and the relationship between Shiva and Sati, so much so that he held a special sacrificial ceremony for all the gods except Shiva. Now, Sati was extremely mad and outraged at this slight, so much so that she threw herself into the sacrificial fire. Wow. Now, impressed and mad and all the emotions by this tragedy, Shiva went on and created two demons from his hair who went and wreaked havoc on the ceremony and destroyed everything, even beheading Daksha. Now all the other gods pleaded to Shiva to end the violence, and so he complied and ended up bringing Daksha back to life, but with the head of a goat. Really funny, right? Eventually, Sati reincarnated as Parvati, and she ended up marrying Shiva. How fascinating is that? Reincarnation is a crazy journey. I am fascinated by it. With Parvati, Shiva had a son, the god Ganesha. Now the boy was actually created out of earth and clay, and it was to keep Parvati company and to protect her while Shiva went on his meditative wanderings. However, one day when Shiva came back and he saw the boy guarding the room with Parvati was taking a bath, he did not recognize his son and ended up calling the two demons, who came and fought the boy and eventually lopped off his head. Now Parvati, hearing this commotion, went out of her bath very scared and screamed at the sight of her dead boy. Now, when Shiva recognized his mistake, he sent out to get a head so that he could make the boy whole again. However, the nearest head that was found was that of an elephant. And so that is how Ganesha, the elephant-headed god, was born. Insane and crazy. I've seen Ganesha in a bunch of Hinduism posters and stuff, and I never knew that this was the story. I love learning with Eternal Brawl. Anyhow, it's really weird that the father did not recognize his son, but gods can't be perfect either. Anyhow, other sons of Shiva are Skanda, the god of war, and Kuvera, the god of treasures. Like any major god, Shiva was involved in many adventurous episodes that illustrate his virtuous character and offer instructions on how to live correctly. For example, self-sacrifice is emphasized in the following story. The king of serpents threatened to vomit snake venom across the seas. When hearing this, Shiva transformed himself into a giant great tortoise, received the venom in his hands, and drank it. It burnt his throat, so much so that it left him a blue scar. Hence his nickname Blue Throat, or in Hinduism, Nilakantha. Nilakantha. It's really hard to learn how to pronounce these things in another language, but I'm trying my best. Anyhow, he saved Earth. Imagine all the seas, our big source of water full of snake venom, could ruin a whole ecosystem, ruining us as well. Self-sacrifice, Shiva. Another celebrated episode describes how Shiva became associated with the bull Nandi. Now, it happens that the original mother of all the world's cows started giving birth to an untold, numerous, infinite number of perfectly white cows. Now, these cows' milk started flooding Shiva's home in the Himalaya. Angry at the disturbance to his meditation, Shiva struck the cows with fire from his third eye. Insane, right? Oh my god. In consequence, patches of the cow's hides turned brown. Now, still trying to calm angry Shiva, which is why we know him as the Destroyer. He got very angry, and when he got angry, you did not want to mess with him. Anyhow, trying to calm him, all of the gods ended up offering him the magnificent bull Nandi, which Shiva accepted and rode. Now, Nandi also became the protector of all animals. Well, these two examples show the contrast of his personality. He can be very impulsive and aggressive, but he's also deeply caring for his people. Shiva is also closely associated with the linga, a symbol of fertility and divine energy. Following the death of Sati and before her reincarnation, Shiva was in mourning, so he decided to go live in the forest with the rishis, which are Hindu saints. Now, with time, the wives of the rishis started taking interest in Shiva. Now the rishis grew jealous, so much so that they sent a great antelope and a gigantic tiger against Shiva. However, Shiva swiftly dealt with them, so much so he ended up wearing the tiger's skin after. Yeah, but the rishis did not stop there. They were so mad that they ended up attacking and cursing Shiva's manhood, so much so that it fell to the ground. Now, when the phallus struck the ground, earthquakes began. Yes. Now, at this point, the rishis were afraid and they started begging for forgiveness. Now, Shiva granted it to them, but he told them they would have to forever worship the phallus as the symbolic linga. Funny, right? In ancient art, Shiva may be represented in slightly different ways depending on the particular culture, Indian, Cambodian, Javanese. He usually wears a headdress with a crescent moon and a skull, representing the fifth head of Brahma, which Shiva decapitated as a punishment for Brahma lusting after his own daughter. How can you do that, Brahma? I was your niece. Anyhow, all of this always happens in these mythologies and religions and everything. Anyhow, crazy gods. Shiva also performs the Tandava cosmic dance within a circle of fire, representing the never-ending cycle of life. He also appears in many images with a foot being stomped on a dwarf figure, representing how illusion makes men go away and farther off from the truth. But now, the real question here is, will all of these amazing traits make Shiva an invincible character in the Eternal Brawl game? Will all of these skills translate to the game? Well, we need to check out his skills to find out. Shiva's comprehensive ability score on the battlefield is an outstanding 95. 95, I know. With an attack mode of 94 and a defense skill of 88. He may easily win a battle with those numbers. Now, he has an explosive force of 87 and a control level of 70. With a support rating of 60, Shiva's gonna be one of the favorites. Those are outstandingly high numbers. Do you think he'll be adored in the Eternal Brawl game? I think so. Now, Brawlers, thank you so much for watching. Remember that you can check out all these characters on the Eternal Brawl website, eternalbrawl.io. Now remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can keep learning about the fantastic lives of these heroes, and to follow us on Twitter, Telegram, Discord, Instagram so you can stay tuned with the updates on this metaverse. Now, I hope that you're having a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and until then, stay cool, Brawlers!